Welcome to qnawire.
Hi, so in this case we have two different parts of a pre-lab activity. So for the first one, we essentially need to apply this formula in order to get the final concentration. And we're told that the final volume is always going to be equal to 10. The initial concentration, or the initial molarity, is going to be equal to zero point 0.4 molar. And we want to know what is going to be the final molarity. The final molarity is going to be equal to initial times the initial volume divided by my final volume. So I'm going to do the example for the first one, and as you can see, the other parts of the column are going to follow directly by multiplying by 2, 3, and by 4, respectively, the result for the first one. So the initial molarity is equal to zero point 0.4 molar. The initial volume that we added is going to be 2 milliliters, and we're going to dilute it to 10 milliliters. As you can see, we don't need to convert the volume into liters because they are going to cancel out. And the result is going to be a concentration of 0.08 molar. Now, what is going to happen with the other cases? Well, you can replace this volume over here by 4, 6, and 8 respectively, or we can multiply this result by 2, 3, and 4. So the result, regardless, is going to be 0.16, 0.24, and 0.32. So with this, we're done with the first part of the pre-lab. Now, for part 2, we need to calculate the amount of nickel sulfate that is exhydrated to make a solution with a volume of 25 milliliters and a concentration of 0.2 molar in nickel sulfate. So without the waters. How we can do this? Well, first of all, let's remember that the amount of mole is equal to the volume times the concentration in molarity, right? So that is going to tell us how much amount of mole do we need. And with that, we're going to use this as a starting point to get the mass of the species that we need using conversion factors. So the way to do this is we're going to start with 25 milliliters, but we are going to convert it into liters. So this is going to be 25 times 10 to the minus 3, 1, 2, 3, 0.25 liters. This is my initial volume. I'm going to multiply it to my concentration that I need. So I need 0.2 mole per liter of nickel sulfate. Next up, I know that 1 mole of nickel sulfate is going to come from 1 mole of the nickel sulfate with 6 waters, the exhydrated nickel sulfate. And I'm going to use the molar mass of exhydrated nickel sulfate in order to know the mass. So 1 mole of nickel sulfate with 6 waters is going to have a mass of 262.85 grams. Remember that this factor is the molar mass of the exhydrated compound. You need to take into account the 6 waters here. So, with all of these conversion factors, what we're going to find is liters and liters go out, mole and mole go out, mole and mole go out, and we end up with grams of nickel sulfate with the 6 waters. So the result will be equal to 1.31425 grams of nickel sulfate with 6 waters. And that would be all. Thank you very much and have a good one.